Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Mindful Chatting. If you've ever looked at the clock and thought, how is it already that late? Or, I swear I just sat down. Well, this episode is for you because we're talking about time blindness, one of the most misunderstood executive functioning struggles in ADHD. And here's what I want to say right up front. Being late, missing deadlines, or underestimating time does not mean you don't care. It means your brain experiences time differently. So let's chat about this. Most people, and I'm looking at those neurotypicals over there, think of time as linear. You have your past, your present, and your future. But ADHD brains don't experience time that way. Research shows that ADHD is associated with weaker internal timekeeping. We have reduced future-oriented processing, and we have difficulty mentally simulating later. For many ADHD brains, time exists in only two categories: the now or not now. If something isn't emotionally or sensorily present, it doesn't register as urgent, even if it matters really deeply to us. And that's not denial, that's neurology. This is the part that creates so much shame in us. People say things like, if it mattered, you'd be on time, or just plan ahead, or think about the consequences. But ADHD brains don't access motivation through future consequences. They access motivation through immediacy or novelty, or those emotional intensity that we feel, or even external structure. So when someone says, you'll regret this later, the brain doesn't feel urgency, it feels disconnect. That's why people with ADHD often care very deeply, but still struggle with us. If you're working on staying present and grounded, which me too, we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into what we call disconnection. Yeah, it's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really any brain, to focus, relax, sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools and ADHD resources, they're in there too. And here's the whole paradox of time blindness. Deadlines either don't feel real at all, or they feel so real that they trigger this panic and you shut down. That's rarely a middle ground. And this happens because time pressure finally makes the task real for you. And adrenaline replaces that dopamine. And then that urgency activates your nervous system. But relying on panic to function is quite exhausting. And over time, this creates a huge cycle for you of I only work under pressure. And that creates burnout, that creates shame, that creates avoidance, and then rinse and repeat. That's not a productivity issue. That's a nervous system issue. And one of the most important things to understand is this: ADHD brains track time through emotions, not clocks. If something feels interesting, well, time disappears. If something feels boring, well, time drags forever. If something feels overwhelming, well, time freezes. This is why good plans still collapse for you, because a plan that doesn't account for your energy, your emotion, your sense of stimulation, or your nervous system state isn't actually realistic for your ADHD brain. If you're nodding along and thinking, yep, this is totally me, I want you to stop and take a free quiz. I have made a quiz about what's your ADHD struggle, and it'll only take a couple of minutes. And at the end, there's a secret freebie waiting for you that will help you start working on your struggle right away. Look in the show notes for the link. So here's what actually supports time awareness in ADHD brains. We need to externalize our time. And that's where timers and alarms, visual countdowns, or color coding is really important. And all of these themes seem very basic and to the point, but if we use all of these constructively with what's going on for ourselves, they can actually be really helpful for you. You also need to make time visible for you. You need to see time passing is different than knowing it exists. lateness. These are way two different things, and being able to see how time is shifting can help you regulate that time is passing. We also need to anchor time to events, not hours. So after breakfast works better than at 9 a.m. because I know I'm going to eat breakfast and I know when that's happening for me. And if I plan something after this, I'm more likely to stick with it than if I do it at a specific time of the day. I also need to lower those emotional stakes. Shame worsens time blindness, so we need to create a sense of safety because that improves it. Time blindness improves when we stop asking the brain to just know, and instead we need to show it. And if you're interested in all of these types of skills, I go over all of this in the ADHD crash course and also our new executive functioning course series, and we have the activation course already lined up and ready for you. If you're listening to this and thinking, this is exactly what I struggle with, I want you to know that I built something specifically for you. The EF, or Executive Functioning Activation course, walks you through why task initiation feels so hard with your ADHD and how to actually get yourself moving without shame, pressure, or burnout. It's short, practical, and designed for ADHD brains, not productivity culture. If starting is your biggest barrier, this course gives you structure, language, and tools that actually work for you. You'll find the link in the show notes. If time has always felt slippery, unreliable, or stressful for you, you're not irresponsible. You're navigating a brain that lives in the present moment way more intensely than most people around you. And when we stop moralizing time, we can finally build systems that support you. The next episode, we're going to talk about emotional regulation and executive dysfunction and why small things feel so big for you. But until then, I want you to be gentle with your mind. You're not broken. Your brain just needs to keep time differently.